I am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get your sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over your son.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
All right. Greetings and welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am your host, Manning's Man. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It is Sunday, and you know Sundays are a very special day. So if we have taken the time out to do a video, it is absolutely a special one worth your listening ears. As usual, we always want to start our program by expressing our gratitude for the life that we have. You know, we have breath in our lungs, and so we are very grateful because every day we live, we have an opportunity to be better than we were yesterday. And in life, we are faced with many challenges, but nonetheless, we live to fight another day. We go on and on. We continue in this battle, in this Gideon, some would say, knowing that with the Most High God, nothing is impossible. All right. We have an epic story with some tragedy, but great lessons to really share with you from persons who witnessed it firsthand, and how that story and that incident kind of shaped just their own lives, and how they're using the experiences from that, the lessons learned from the experience to impact other lives and make a huge difference. It's an incident that happened years ago with a Manning's team that was very well, doing very well. And I'm going to have them come on and share the story and just take lessons from it, the transferable principles. You know, I know you have heard in the past that experience teaches wisdom, but it is our evaluated experiences that actually teach wisdom. A lot of people have experience and they're learning nothing unless you sit down and evaluate the experience you have. You ain't learning anything at all. Again, welcome to the platform. If this is your first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like the video, share the video. Right now, just hit the like button as soon as you get, and big up Elite Sport, who is the first to make a comment. Welcome, one love, blessed love, my brother, and grace and peace be unto you. So I have with me Sean Young, I have Brian Young, and I have Dwight Coot. So one is called Dodger. All right. I don't know why. If you play football, why you're dodging, you know. One is called Gabby, and then they're gonna give you all the things behind the names. And you know, Sean, I don't know what they call him, you understand me? But they will tell you their aliases or their football names, but they were footballers at the 1738, I call it. The ancient light of learning, in splendor shining over all the west, where they say life without learning is death. So I'm going to have them come on now, and we're going to spend some time together, and we want you to listen to this epic story, though it has some sad details. It has served as great inspiration. So let me welcome first Sean. That's Sean right there. That's Dwight, and this is Brian. All right, all right. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
For the welcome.
Awesome. And you know that the two better persons are on the right side of this thing right now, right? Because we have we have Kenan on our jersey. You understand? We're always ready for every battle because we support the Arsenal. There you go. Show it. Show it up proud and loud. There you go. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, listen. I want you to take some time. Again, welcome to the platform. How you all doing? How you doing? How your family? How life?
Everything is going well. Family's all well. Celebrate with my uncle yesterday. Celebrate his 100th birthday yesterday. So life is good for me. Yes.
Right.
And for myself, it's a blessed Sunday. I'm by way of Atlanta, Georgia. Pretty cold outside, but guess what? Sun is shining. We have life. We have health and strength.
Back home here, everything is going well with me and family. Thanks for asking.
Wonderful. All right. So, I want you guys to do all the talking. So, starting with you, Sean, just introduce yourself to the people. Just give them a little synopsis into who you are,
Okay.
and why are we here on this grand occasion, and then we get into who Hopeton Kelly is and what happened, and we're gonna go through that and the successes. And so you begin, Sean, and then we go to Dodger,
Yes.
and then we will go to
Sure.
in that
I'm Sean Young, class of '88, and I'm mainly the event coordinator for the event, which we'll talk about later on after we hear the story. And I'm the younger and more handsome brother of Brian Dodger Young on your side of the cannon. So I'm the younger brother, and just carrying the legacy of the Young family. And I'm the event coordinator, as I said. Class of '88, been involved in football for many years, and I'm looking forward to hearing the story from these two gentlemen who were an integral part of that '78 under 14 team when that tragedy happened, and they were the pioneers and the ones who came up with the idea to continue the legacy, of Hopeton Kelly, and for us to really understand what happened and the lessons that can be learned. So I'm here as a team member who assist with making this event a reality. So I'll turn it over to Gabby, and Gabby can speak on the story and of course my brother Daja.
Okay, thanks, Sean. Well, I met Hopeton Johnny Kelly at age 7 in 1972 at the fine learning institution in Stratbogie called Unity Primary School. We became friends right away because we were super athletes in track and field. Both of us were sharpening each other. I can remember vividly in 1976 when Hazley was defeated, the great Donald Quarry. Hopeton cried because Don Quarry was his hero. And at that time, we didn't have any television play. We just heard what was happening on the radio. And I remember saying to him, Hopeton, don't worry, DQ is going to take his revenge in the 200. And we all know what happened, in the 1976 Olympics in Montreal. He won the 200, by at least 3 meters. But the thing now is that Hopeton and I, we became friends at that early age. We both passed the common entrance and went on to Manning's. And the friendship between us was inseparable. So as you know, we were going to Monroe to play the championship for the Elron Cup. And for some reason, even today, this thing happened 47 years ago. And it's very vivid in my mind what took place. Right on the Cave Road, heading to the Belmont White House area. Hopeton, for some reason, had his head outside the window of the bus. And the spectator bus that was ahead of us, we were trying to get by the bus. And for some reason, the driver from the spectator bus was, in my opinion, was banking our bus because we're a little bit late, so we're trying to hurry to get to Malvern. And there was a sign, can't forget, one of those signs that says slippery when wet. It was right there, and Sila, our captain, Sila Pringle, was sitting in the back seat to the right. And Sila called out to Hopeton to pull his head in. But Hopeton did not do what Sila told him to do. What he did, he was looking around to see what Sila was asking him, why to pull his head in. And unfortunately, his head hit with that post, and it really shook us up. We were 12 years old, 13 years old, some of us. And that day is vivid in our minds. I can't forget there was, blood matter on my uniform shirt from the incident. I couldn't get up out of the bus. I was frozen in my seat. As a young 13-year-old, I couldn't feel my legs, the fear that came over me. I couldn't move my legs because I saw my best friend, with his cervical column pushing up to the back of his neck. And he was so strong. He went on for 3 days before he actually succumbed to the injuries. 47 years ago, as I said, and we are trying to memorialize him and the others from that team who have gone on before us. So we have 5 players who have gone on before us. We just lost our captain, Sila Pringle, which is well known all over the Jamaican community, 3-time champion for Reno in the National League. And in March, it will be a year since he passed. So therefore, we're coming down to Jamaica on the 22nd of March, Saturday, to honor our fallen soldiers.
All right. All right. So that is stuff from Dwight. Oh, you're still talking. Oh, are you frozen? Want to make sure you finish.
I wanted to pass on to Daja. I wanted to, let Daja say something.
Right. So let us get Daja to come in and just talk a little bit, because both of you are on the team. Both of you are on that bus. Right. Go ahead, Daja.
Okay. Most places know me as Daja. You want to know where the game came from, but playing soccer, football, as we call it.
Hold on, Daja, you're sounding, I don't know if it's me, but you're sounding a little muffled.
Okay, hear me better?
It is not as clear. And I want to make sure, I don't know if you're having the same issue. You're hearing him clearly? Because I want to...
No, it wasn't muffled.
No. It sounds as if he's getting an echo in his background.
Yeah,
let me continue until you clean him up, all right?
All right. So I think he's back now. Go ahead, Daja. Let me see if I can hear you clearly.
Is it any better?
Yes.
Yes, it's better than it was. There you go.
Okay, I have to just bring the phone closer. So, did you get the first introduction, or should I continue?
No, man. No, we didn't hear anything. So just
okay. Yeah. So the name Brian Young is what's my government
I
name,
think we have
but
lost him
everybody
again.
knows
You
me
want
as Dodger.
you want to continue? Yeah, because I think we have lost Dodger again.
Yeah. Yes. All right.
Can you hear me?
All right, Dodger, I'll continue because you're having a lot of feedback in your transmission.
All right, let me move from that area.
All right. So Manning's man,
Yeah.
we did an inaugural Hopeton Kelly Memorial back in 2023, which was a great success. And we have to thank our good friend Sean, who spearheaded the operation. You know, Sean and our good friend Carol James who spearheaded the entire operation for us. And we were lucky that we had some of the past Jamaican greats to come. We had people like Theodore Whitmore, Paul Young, we had Hector Wright, we had the great Jamaican man who can head the ball great, the great Michael Tolo. We had goalkeeper Marvin Chin, we had Linval Dixon, we had Reno greats, you know, like the great Donald Hewitt, we had Linval Pala Wilson, you know, we had Michael Jimmy Graham. So we had all those guys came and we did a great remembrance of Kelly at the time and the other three guys. Let me name the other three guys who passed. We had the great Dennis Skip Hall, right? We had Christopher Jesus Hill. We had Anthony Feder Lofters. And now we have the great Sila Pringle. So as I said before, we have 5 players from that team who are not with us anymore. We had a great event. We highlighted the school, the guys who came and played in that event to help us out. They will be coming back on the 22nd of March. We have other players also who are going to come back. We spoke to the great Paul Teagat Davis, you know, who this gentleman has so many goals for Jamaica. And so these guys are coming to help us with the memorial of these 5 wonderful gentlemen, especially Hopeton Johnny Kelly and Cecil Sila Pringle. So we're putting this out to the entire Jamaican community that we're not doing this for us. We're doing this for the school, the great Manning School, founded in 1738.
We're going to. I want to get to that. Like, what is the objective, or what are some of the things outside of just probably giving back financial resources that you'll be doing from this? So I'm going to check with Dodger to make sure he's up, and then I'll just, because I want to backtrack and ask us a couple of questions about the actual incident, so we can help the people to understand the dynamics of what really happened, about what the team was able to accomplish in spite of all of that. And just a team that is always remembered by students at Manning's. But I have a couple of persons that I want to give you the comments. I see Dirk Brown saying Rusty Cannon. I think he's referring to the 2 Arsenal fans. But Dirk, be very careful what you say. You know, you have your senior out here. You can't speak to your senior like that, you know, sir. You can't speak to me like that. But certainly, you should not be speaking to your senior, calling them Rusty, right? So, all right. And then Jeremy Lawrence says, big up yourself, Dutch. And Sean Pulse. I see Jacqueline Taylor saying, I remember this tragic event like yesterday, such a sad day. And then Gunner's boss says, this reminds me of when I nearly lost my head on the top of a bus going under the bridge in Black River. To this day, I shiver every time I remember it. Then he also asked a question, what about Hagler Wilson from Rona, Russia? I think he's asking if he will be part of the game as well. But we can get to that a little later. But Dodger, you help me now. So that incident happened on your way to the game. What happened? Did you go on to the game? Did you turn? What was a day like for you? I mean, this is not just a teammate, but a friend, and you're basically kids. This is like 12 and 13-year-old. Like, talk. What was
Okay.
it? Yeah.
Can you hear me pretty good, guys?
Yes, you're better. I think you're better than you were before. But so go ahead, man.
So I met Hopeton my last year of primary school at Unity, and we became good friends, like Gabby as well, because of track. And sports day, Both of them beat me. I was injured. They said they didn't want to hear anything. And
So
of
they beat
course,
you because you were injured, not because you're
yes, sir.
faster than
Yes, sir. However, we would meet at Manning's the very next year. And I say, look what I have here. Same guys. It just so happened that me and Kelly were in the same house, Vickers' house. And we had to represent the house, 100, 200, and what have you. And Gabby in his house and whatever. Anyway, I came out victorious, and me and Kelly, we became almost inseparable. He's such a competitor. Of course, I beat him in the 100, and then he beat me in the 200, and it was just an ongoing thing. He loves soccer as well, football, all sports, and he talks a lot, and very jovial, very friendly. Everybody loved him, and myself and Gabby, we would give names to every player on the team. You cannot be on the team without a nickname. However, he eluded us. Every name we tried to give him, he didn't want it. So he stuck to Johnny. And then Kelly was just, everybody knew him as Kelly, as a memory. However, going to that game, I was the troublemaker on the bus, period. I would start a lot of crap. Everything I do, he would follow. And on our way, I was practically out of the bus. It's just one foot holding me to the bus. So everything I did, he would copy. However, Mr. Green told me I need to sit my behind down or else I'm not playing. So me and Kelly was playing, hit back and forth. He was sitting behind me. So Mr. Green didn't want me at the back of the bus anymore because I started a lot of ruckus down there with Sila and Kilo and the rest of the guys back there. And Gabby as well. But every time there's a problem, they say it's Dodger. Anyway, I had to keep my head inside. And he would slap me, but I can't move because every movement is Dodger. So Mr. Green, I realized at the time when the bus was overtaking the spectators' bus, I already had my head and my body inside because practically my whole body was outside. And Sila was observing what's going on in the back and shouted out to Kelly and whoever else to pull in their heads. I was already sitting down. Unfortunately, he got knocked. And you just don't know the feeling to turn around and see him in the bus. We're all 12 and 13 years old. I remember, as Gabby said vividly, the sight for us as youngsters to observe him fighting for life. When the bus stopped from Cave, I don't remember how I got back to Manning School.
Yeah.
Somebody saw me on the road. Some passerby, some driver came and said, Mr. Young, you all right? That's all I remember. Until I got back to Manning's, seeing everybody crying, my sister, my cousins, and it was just not a good feeling. He did not die on the spot. However, a few days afterwards, he fought and succumbed to his injuries. My mother and other parents were encouraging the principal not to play the game, not to proceed and play the finals. They decided to anyway. We had to bury Kelly before the finals. Can you imagine? We have to bury him and then go play the finals at Monroe.
On the same day?
No, like maybe when the accident happened, it took maybe a week or better to go to the first leg of the finals at Monroe. And I remember we go into the finals and passing the area. It was silence in the bus. Everybody teary-eyed. I remember crying. And we made it to the finals with Mr. Green, very inspirational, encouraging us that we have to win for Kelly. In Monroe, or at Monroe, it was a dogfight. The team was probably evenly matched. They were just as good. They had a player on their team that was very exceptional. And held their game. The game ended up, it was a tied game 2-2. And unfortunately, there wasn't any penalty kicks because we're exhausted because of the altitude. Of course, we're struggling mentally and everything else. But we had to play the second leg at Manning's. It took maybe another 2 weeks because the parents were debating to share the finals. Most persons didn't know that we were supposed to share the finals. The Hopeton Kelly Cup was supposed to be shared between Monroe and Manning's. Mr. Green would not have it. Some parents decided, whatever, I'm not quite sure, but eventually we had to play it. Now, at that time, there's no counseling. I don't know what other persons went through in terms of their parents, but I was not even supposed to be competing on a team because of my mother's religious beliefs. And Mr. Green had to do his best to get us mentally able, because we had the talent, but the second leg, I didn't show up for a few days, so he had to I remember he had to go find my dad. My dad told me that, your mother didn't want you on the team anyway, but you're on your own if you can take what's coming to you. The first day back at training, I got injured very bad, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to play the finals. I realized everyone was struggling mentally. It's like there's no jovial, no happy feeling we had, period, because you can tell it's just a struggle. However, we are regrouped. I came to the finals banged up, wasn't supposed to play. Sila encouraged that I must. Mr. Green, the players, I remember the game, the first half, we were struggling 0-0, and everybody's wondering what's happening to this great team, but persons wouldn't understand. They will not understand. For us to mentally fight to play a finals. That's why this particular cup is so special because we played it for Kelly and Mannings. I had to come on second half because the inspiration from the crowd, Sila, my captain, and the coach and others. See, I got to get into the game. I'm just one of the players, but they say I made a change coming on. It's the first game I played, not starting, and the first game I came off the bench, but we overcame and won. It was a bittersweet feeling for me. One thing I learned from it is you can't take things for granted, even though we were happy going to the game, hanging out of the bus and all of that. It's so unfortunate because ones would say it's negligence. And I'm not throwing the driver under the bus, but I don't think there was any reason for any overtaking and all of that. But we leave that's years ago, it's behind us. But we fought as youngsters. And I remember this point I remember. When we won, I don't remember how we got to Mr. Nita's office in that area, in front of his office.
But for those who don't know, let me just fill in some gaps of the people. So when I hear skipper, it is Clifford Simmons, former arena player, right? Who he actually left Mannings, I believe, and went on to Veer. That's one. Mr. Nita was the principal at Mannings at the time, just for you.
Yes, sir.
We know that all of you are not Mannings, former Mannings students. So Mr. Green was the coach of the team. So let me just fill in those gaps for you so you can understand like where the conversation going. So you can continue.
So I'm gonna name the starting 11. In goal, Creature. Dennis Hall passed. Dennis Massive, Skip Hall. Derek Sewell, Pluto playing in front. Manbat, Mark X Spew to the right. Left defense, Derek Grams Hardin, Moman. In midfield, my cousin, Paul Bonnie Washington, and Cecil Sila Pringle. In those days, it was 4-2-4.
Okay.
On the right was Clifford Skillo Smith. Forwards was Dwight Gabicoot, Caswell Biggs Dawes, and last but not least, the Dodger on the outside left, Brian Dodger Young. The starting 11 had to have everybody. If you don't have a nickname, you can't start. Of course, you have to be very good to start on that team.
Yeah.
So we came out victorious, and over the years, 40-something years, we kept the camaraderie. We stayed in touch. We always thought about a reunion for the members. And finally, last year, we got together to honor Kelly and the fallen soldiers. And I would be an advocate to have the Elron Cup changed to Hopeton Kelly because it was mentioned at that time. But nobody decided to pursue it. So I left it alone. But I said, we had to do something for Kelly and present. I was so happy to be part of the group, to present a plaque to his mother. And she was so, she was very, very elated, very happy. And no sooner she passed.
Wow.
As so many years passed, and it's only me and Gabby could really get on the microphone to say anything last year, because I looked around, everybody teary-eyed. I'm teary-eyed too, but I had, as a very good friend, I had to say something. I was lost for words like I am now because it still lingers, still hurts.
I love that because uh, and one thing they said in that is one of the lessons is never take anything for granted. You know, I always tell people the opportunities you have to show appreciation to people, tell them how much you love them. You just have to do that. But Sandra Chin Brown says, one of the lessons is just how to cope through tragedy. Just for you guys to go and play the final and win it at such a tender age, given the experience, it is just a huge, huge emotional triumph and thing, and must be admired because I don't. That's like devastating. Like most people in their lifetime don't have death so close to them in that kind of a way. All right. Most people is you probably have some grandparent or a parent when you're in an adult age who probably dies in a hospital or something like that, or have lingering sickness, but you don't like experience this. It's not common, and so the fact that you're able to continue, it's a lot of strength. And of course, the memories are still there, and we look at that and say like, what can we do differently? What I know is that without them changing it from the Enron Cup, certainly, I think what can be done is as often as possible. Monroe and Mannings at the under 14 can play for the Hopeton Kelly Cup. It don't have to be the entire competition, but there can be during this time, as you remember, the Monroe under 14 team at the time comes and plays against the Mannings under 14 team, and they play for the Hopeton Kelly Cup. So I will get the cup. And if the game is put on or whenever you want to start it, and I am sure sports will get the cup because you know, I think one of the lessons in this is just, and I know that over time, that was back in the days, because that people, let me just say this, back in that time, people hanging out of buses was a common thing. It wasn't strange to see like even people driving and putting them head on the outside of the bus and right. You don't have that. It's not as common now, except you're really in the crowded vehicles. But it was a common practice at that time, and I think incidents like this kind of taught people that you have to put safeguards in place, especially for younger kids. These are 12 years old. While like you said, it could be seen as negligence, but at the end of the day, like it speaks to an oversight that has become normal in present day football with our kids, that if a bus is going to the game, you're not going to find that happening. All windows are probably wind up and ACs are on because lessons from this story help to teach people that we have to do better. We have to cut this out because I remember when I was in Westmoreland, there was a guy called Flint or Flynn, and he was some Reno game was going on or somewhere, and at that time they used to have like the drivers like come around early in the morning when they're going like to Kingston and collect the fare from the people. So you're the driver and the conductor, I think, on the buses, the little highest buses that would leave from Westmoreland to Kingston. And for whatever reason, he came out of the bus, and on that same stretch of road between, I think, Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth, a truck came and just like cleaned him up completely, right? Because he came out on the driver's side and was going around to like collect from people and let off people, passengers. And so when you see things like these, you know that um, things must be put in place, safeguards. And when we remember what happened, we also remember that there's a need for greater safeguard for young people because at the end of the day, these are 12 and 13 years old. I mean, it's tragic and it's difficult, but I'm glad that you guys have had the resolve for so many years, and that you can speak about this, publicly to show that you have been healed. And though the memories are there, the healing has taken place to the point where you can reflect and remember your friend in such a loving way and a caring way, and speak about the tragedy of the incident. And so it is why you have this big incident that you did for the first time last year. And let me just say to people, this came up in the interview that I did with Cecil Pringle, because when I think it's the only interview he has. Unfortunately, I think months after he did that interview was when he actually passed. And I'm so grateful that he did that he could have actually shared his story before that happened. And I am glad that you're also doing this because people would not have probably heard from the people who were involved in it. And people just here remember back in 1970 something this happened, but to have it out there that people can hear and that these are actual persons who were in that bus. You're sitting behind or in front of the person, right? You heard take your head in. You heard the impact. You saw the person, and then days after, I don't know, like how the game was even played, but it showed
Absolutely.
that at that young age there was strong mental and emotional resolve. But go
Yes.
ahead, Sean, and you can just segue
Yeah, I
into
just
the
wanted
next
to
slide.
add that when it comes on to resilience and having success in the face of adversity, these young men showed that, and they stuck together. And I'm just curious to find out from Gabby, like, what was the school body like, the entire school body, the rest of the students who heard the news? What was the turnout like at the game, the home game you had on that second leg? I'm curious to know, like, what was the vibe on campus?
Well, Sean, let me tell you something. Daja can attest to this. We were bringing more crowds on the Dakasta Cup team. When we played the first match, everybody in Savlaman knew that that team was special. So with the tragedy that took place, and knowing that we were going to play the last leg of the finals at the Manning School grounds, I can remember vividly where the entire Savlaman was at that game. And the entire school, as a matter of fact, when school was let out that day, I don't think any student left the school because everybody was emotionally involved. The teachers, the students, everybody, even the people who had no interest in football at the time. Hopeton Kelly's passing brought that interest out in them. I remember vividly because he and I was the closest on the team, as Daja can say, because we went to Unity School. And I ran like Usain Bolt in that game because I said to myself, if we lose this game, I was wondering what would be the mental state of us even to today. If we had lost that game, in our minds, Daja knows this very well. We thought we would have let Hopeton down if we lost the game. So we had to play like champions. I remember exactly how the goals were scored, Daja came on, and I saw Daja came on the field. Because Daja always kept feeding me the ball because I was big and strong. Them boys couldn't knock me off the ball. And as Daja came on the field, Daja square a ball right across to me, control it, move it into the box. And the Monroe player cleaned me out, clean in the box. Penalty. And Paul Bonnie Washington, that's a player who has never missed a penalty in his career. And Bonnie get the penalty and just tap it into the far corner. And we're up 1-0. And they equalize. And we were 1-1 because they had a player, Daja called his name, Everald Ninja Smith. He is a if Ginger can become 18 years of age now, he'd be playing for Manningsman team, Arsenal. Trust me. That's how good he was. Right? And then no, the late.
Hold on. I think hold on a sec. I think you're saying something, Daja.
Yeah, make a correction, Gary. The second leg, the game ended 2-0. It was the first game in Monroe that they tied the game. But the last game, we beat them 2-0. First game,
they didn't score.
Yeah,
Okay.
they didn't score. They came close, but Creature denied them. Get them out.
Yeah. But Sila, but it was so fitting Manningsman that Sila scored the closing goal. Right? It was a beautiful goal. I can't forget. I think it was Biggs who passed the ball to him, and he beat two defenders and put a powerhouse in the right corner, and we went up 2-0. When that final whistle blew, I don't know what happened to the other player, but I collapsed on the field. I collapsed, I dropped on the field because the sheer joy, the sheer exuberance that came into my body, knowing that we won this cup for Hopeton. We weren't even thinking about, the saying that we actually won the Elrond Cup. We were just thinking about Kelly. That's all the thoughts that were in our mind, that he did not die in vain.
I'm going to share something, Mannings, man. before we played the second leg, Kelly, Sila, Biggs, Jesus, they were in the same class. I was the only member of that team in my class. And there was this morning, actually, you know how you have roll calls for the teacher of your class to make sure who's present and what have you. Miss Gopal Singh was the teacher for that class. And one morning, I guess she made a mistake and called his name or got to his name and just put her head on the desk, started crying. And the whole place was just crazy. We were next door to their class, and I guess it transpired to our class as well. Mr. Coot was our teacher for our class doing the roll calls and what have you. And I think he had to go over there and console her, and then everything just spread through the school. I think I left that day. I just left and went home. I didn't even come back because it was so emotional. And I tell you, another situation, he was buried in front of our family's business place. And we're right where Reno was formed by Catholic. He was buried right there close. So you see his grave, pass it. It took a while for me to still have, you're older now, so you're handling stuff and you got to understand that's life is what it is. But for us to be so old and he was so close, to be so young and he was so close to us, man, I tell you, so many stuff I could tell you. Yeah. I don't even know how I played the last game. The first or the last game. I don't know how we all did it. We really have to thank Mr. Capo Green for holding us together. The coach. I tell you, it's something else. People will understand, and that's why I said this cup. Don't take anything away from the under 14 after us that won, and the under 16, and they won back to back. Respect all kudos out to them. But this one, I don't know if anywhere in the world you ever heard something like this to happen, and you still got to go to the finals.
In the youth final, definitely.
Youth or professionals, I never heard of anything like this. But we did it, and here we are, and now we take the opportunity to use it also as a platform to help the school, the sports program. So we expect the support
of the people
to come on and show their respect.
I'm going to get into that, but let me just read, because Sandra Chinbrown says such display of bravery in honor of Kelly. Big up yourselves. I was an avid sports performer in school, so I understand. More power to you all. This should be a book or a movie of overcoming, right? And And she said, why not create a competition in Kelly's name? That would be the ultimate goal. Yes. And then she says, are better yet in that particular team name, highlighting the ones who have passed on, I think she's saying. So just a couple of suggestions from Sandra Chin Brown. Thank you so much for your Sandra. Your
Thank you,
comment.
Sandra.
Yeah, man. So now one of the things that you have done, like I said, is this second year running. It happened for the first time last year, and it's happening again this year at the Manning School, which is in Westmoreland in March. So I want you to give people time, date, who will be there, what to expect, what is it in aid of, and how they can support the event and be a part of it. Of course, people, to let you know, do not, because I know a lot of you are my subscribers, are going to say, boy, every time Mannings have something, Mannings man talk about him a ball and him can't play. It is, they have excluded me by age. We will leave it at that. All right.
Yes. So with the event, the first year was very successful. We had, as Gabby had mentioned earlier, participants from former Reggae Boys and members of the wider community, coming out to support us. It's the same this year. We added more names. More people expressed interest of being involved in the event, and we have some sponsors, mainly Sir Mac Auto Superstore, Stewart's Group out of Kingston. The story really touched their hearts, and they became involved in the event. And our committee, hardworking committee, putting this together. It's not as simple as the game looks. Of course, as man is man, it's a lot of logistics and operational items that we have to put together
to get all of those players that you mentioned in one place at one time. In itself is a challenge.
And we had a former Manning's player, former goalkeeper, standout goalkeeper, who went on to keep for Reno, Fire Reddix. And Fire, his younger brother played with me, Dougal Reddix. So Fire is coming, which I'm so excited, because Fire have been off the grid when it comes on to sports, football. He lives here in Atlanta, but I was so happy. And Aaron Lawrence, he said, once he's available and the Nation League is not, he won't be called to duty for the Nations League, he will be there. Added names like Dean Sowell, who was, he battled with Sila when Reno beat Constant Spring, as you can remember, for the Premier League title. Dean Sowell was a thorn in Reno's side.
And Skilo was on that team, was in the Reno team as well.
Yes, Skilo was there also, right. But, with us honoring the life and legacy of Sila, a lot of people reached out to us. And, of course, I sought the blessing of ISA. I sought the blessing of the Jamaica Football Federation. And they did, say, yes, you have our blessing, on the event. So it will be Saturday, March 22nd on the Manning School campus. And, we're going to have an under 14 game before the main game. So the under 14 game will be at 2 p.m. The main game will be at 4 p.m. And then we're going to have an after party. So we're going to have a, what we call lime and chill.
After party, just tell us who will play in the under 14 game.
Okay, well, unofficially, one of our friends, Dirk Brown, alumni, schoolmate, teammate, Dirk is making the arrangements to finalize. I didn't want to mention the school yet until it's
not
final.
a problem.
Right, but we have a school that expressed interest, which will be very competitive and exciting. So it's a prominent under 14 school, but I cannot mention the name until it's confirmed. Okay. So they will play at 2 o'clock.
Against Mannings or
against Mannings under 14.
Okay.
Yes, so Mannings under 14 will play that particular high school, which will be a very, very good game. And then at 4, we have, Theodore Whitmore, Hector Wright, Paul Young, Linval Dixon, Marvin Chin, all of those guys coming in. Michael Tolo.
And they'll be playing against, is that it will be mixed, or they'll be playing against the Elron Cup team or something?
Yes, I'm getting to that. Yes. So T-Gat Davis, they will form the former Reggae Boys invitational team, and they'll be playing against the host team, which will be the 1978 Elrond Cup champions. Of course, that team will comprise of a few additional players. And of course, the local national players like Jeremy Hewitt and Michael Jim Dandy Graham, they will be playing for the former Reggae Boys against the Manning's Elrond Cup team, which will have a few players who played for Manning's but are over 50 years old. So Manning's, man, that eliminates you out of that category because you're still 38 years old and still, a few years away from 50. Now, you did ask a question about Marvin, about Hagler, right? Mark Hagler. And it's funny enough, he wants to be involved, but at some point, he's not sure based on his commitment. But when we brought it up, one team say, you know what, if he more play, him have to play for we because me not play against him. And then the next team say, all right, him come play for we. Next team say, no, sir. Me not, if him a play, me not play. And you know the history of Hagler already. One of the most loved players. And with it's almost like even though it's a Manning's event, alumni event, the Reno is like a household name. It's so it's bringing together former Reno players who, in their heyday, were some of the most brilliant players.
Because you also have Donald Wilson, Pussman.
Right, Pussman will be playing on the Manning's team, and so he will be an invited player. You have a local player, Mojo, who was a very good player. Still plays well.
Aldian Blackabilly.
Blackabilly is involved with us in assisting with putting the game together, but because of his aches and pains and stuff.
So Clifford Smith is going to play because I know he actually left Manning's,
he will be there. He was there last year. He will be there. He expressed interest to play, but again, sometimes physical issues will prevent them from playing. But it's gonna be such a great day of camaraderie and exciting, football even though it's over 50, but the fans can come out and expect a treat. We're gonna have
over 50 football. For those of you who don't know, you do not tackle.
No slide tackle.
No slide tackle.
Walk fast. Yes, so it's gonna be an exciting day. And
then you have an after party after the game.
Yes, we have an after party. But before we get to that, we're honoring the life and legacy of Sila. So his family will be present. And we must remember that Sila played a vital role, not only in high school. He carried himself well. He went on to work in the community. And he even though, he was national champion with Reno, he went overseas, but he was always connected. He always stayed grounded and very humble. And the last words he said to me at the event was that, Sean, you put together all this and you're not here. Make sure I see you next year because we love this. And it reminds me, he put me back in the days of the Tanka Invitational Stenet. You remember, man, the Tanka Invitational? Right. Even though those were younger players. Who I reached out to? Fedamap. Who remember Fedamap? All right. Eldamap. I reached out to him. He said he would love to be there. He's in Canada.
Eldamap.
Right.
One Manchester.
One Manu. Yes, Eldamap gave his blessing and he said he would love to be there. So, this is the first time I'm really announcing that unofficially. But he gave us his blessing because Eldamap also, when he came down to play for Tampa, when he played for Volvo, very exciting player, a lot of character. So Sila was one who was that engine room, that silent killer in the midfield. So it's not just a Manning's event, it's a wider community event that everybody will be present to pay respects.
Sean.
Yes.
I must say it's gonna be very gut-wrenching moment, March 22nd, for him not to be present.
Yes.
It's the first time I'm gonna be representing Manning's without him. I tell you. So that's another day of emotions for me again. And I hope, pray to God, knock on wood, we don't lose anyone anytime soon because we are at the point of 3 scores. We want to get our 10 and whatever bracket we can get. So
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Is there?
man,
Yeah. Go ahead.
this is the jersey, the original jersey we played in last year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, this is the one that we played in, and we have the Sorry for me turning my back at you, but the
Yeah,
hope
man. No, man. Go ahead. Go ahead and let them see. Yeah. Oh, so come you have the number 10. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, but hear me now. That I can tell you, Manning's man. I
At
was
that time, he was the original number 10.
I was the leading goal scorer for that championship team,
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right, boss.
So no, you understand why we have the number 10 now, right?
No,
Hey,
no, I
the
understand.
man is man. Them man are train, you know. Them man are take the thing serious, you know. A whole
Oh,
heap of trash talk are go on between between Paul Young, who will lead the charge with the former Reggae Boys and the Elrond Cup. So it's a whoop of banter going on right now. So it's the vibe I pick up and me I tell you that everybody
yeah,
are
I think
trained.
Warren Barrett was there last year, but he's overseas now. I think
Yeah,
was he there?
no, he's living in
Oh,
Atlanta now.
no,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
here. Yeah,
yeah.
he's here.
He's
Yeah.
away. But
Okay.
what is the cost for getting into the venue, and will there be refreshment and stuff for sale? And
Yes.
what are the proceeds going towards?
Okay.
The
So
Hopeton Kelly scholarship or Cecil Pringle scholarship, is it just going to the sports department?
Yes.
Go
So
ahead.
it's the admission will be $1,500 Jamaican,
Yeah.
of course, and we'll have a VIP section. Refreshment will be on sale, and of course we're gonna have vendors. We're gonna have food vendors, people with pastry, ice cream throughout the day. Music, of course, will be there to entertain the crowd, and the proceeds will be go towards the sports program, mainly the football program. The proceeds will be going towards 100%.
Okay. So what is it? I know you said that you're going to have a VIP. What
Yes.
is the cost for the VIP section?
$2,000.
Okay. All right. So people hear that. So let's go over it again. It's $1,500 regular entry fee and $1,500 for VIP. $2,000 for VIP, $1,500 regular,
Yeah.
and $2,000 for VIP. All right. So people, we have a flyer here. I'm going to show you the flyer. And then you know that I am sure sports will continue to highlight this so people can see it. It's well done. So I hope you can see that. You see, the Hopeton Kelly Memorial. So I don't want to do it in bits and pieces. So there you go. So let me show you that part. Make sure you can see it.
And while you're showing them man is man, you know where VIP is, right? Upstairs where?
Prescott Block.
There you go. Yeah, man. So that's where the excitement will be at Manny School on the 22nd, and just come out and support. And if you can't make it, you have contact numbers there on the screen. 488-1529. That's in Jamaica, and in the US 954-465-3654, and that's to contact someone in the US. You can still donate. It's going to a great cause. You don't have to be a Manning student, but at least in the name of Hopeton Kelly, the ones who passed, and of course, Sila Pringle, a legend, someone who made a mark on the wider community of not only Mannings, but Savlamar, the parish of Westmoreland. He made us proud.
All right. So somebody's asking if there'll be jersey. He says, Zimmy is saying, will there be jersey selling trying to get an authentic Mannings jersey? Is like pulling teeth. All right. So he's asking that. And then kids are $500. All
Yes.
right. So the cost for kids is actually less. I see the after party. They have Billy Slaughter, formerly of Stone Love's Denny Hype, and Bad Indian Sound.
Yes.
Right. Yes. So that's some of the details. Also, here's what I want to do, people. You don't have to be at the event to support the event, right? So 1,500 Jamaican dollars is like $10 US, around $10, $9. Call it $10, right?
Yes.
So you can buy some tickets, and so that they can give to people who want to be at the event. That's how you can support it. A lot of you Mannings past students who are all over the United States and Canada, you're watching this right now. You can buy 10 tickets. You're still supporting the school, but you're also, having someone go and watch some of these players. Never seen them, never met. Like I've spoken to these guys, but I've never actually, because by the time I got to Mannings, most of them were, the Mannings culture, everybody gone college.
Yes.
Them leave out of Westmoreland. And you understand me? That's the man, especially the football. I always tell people that the sports team at Mannings, especially the football and the cricket team, a lot of those persons move on to college and they sometimes move out of the community. So one generation don't necessarily come and see the next generation. So you have heard the story. Now you get to interact with the people who were actually involved in the story. Yeah.
And I must take the opportunity to say that, I am one example of that person, but I've always stayed connected and grounded. And if we can have not even every alumni, but if we can have more alumni who stay connected and grounded when they graduate, give back to your school, in some way, shape, or form. And things that, like what happened to with that incident, we have professionals who are psychologists and doctors who could come back and speak, at no cost, speak to the student body, at assembly one morning, speak to them and enlighten them and educate them on things, issues that we face and the children face every day. Because at 11, 12, 13 years old, so much things go through their mind. They're in transformation from adolescent to teenager, and there's so much things that they face, challenges. So we ask each alumni to look into their hearts and give back, not only to us for our event, but reconnect with the school, because we are such a great institution and we're lacking in alumni support. We, kudos to the variety of alumni groups out there who donate. I must say respect to them, Mannings man. But we need more help.
Can do a whole lot better, definitely.
Yes,
I need to make mention of something before I forget. Before I forget, I had forgot to make mention to the other members of the champion team that were there, like Killerling, Howard Wong, Michael Scott. I don't remember the other name, was the other Scott. And if you can think of anybody else, Gabby, Paul Jones and others. So it wasn't just the 11.
They started 11. That's good.
They started 11. So I didn't want, I was just talking about the names you got.
Yes.
Yeah, man, that's good. That's good. And again, you said it. Maybe some of those players never had any nicknames, so that's
they couldn't start. Yeah, man, and thanks to the
remember when they don't have any nickname,
yes. Thanks to the committee, the planning committee, Bobby McFarlane, Peter James, Carl James, Michael Wright, for making this happen.
David McKenzie.
Yeah, and Mr. McKenzie. This event, it
Dwight Coote.
Yes, of course, the two gentlemen on here, Gabby and Daja, and of course, Mannings man, we thank you for allowing us to come on the platform and for these gentlemen to tell their story.
One thing I know, this is a chat. Everybody, once you're connected to Mannings, this is our channel. Anything you have to do, you understand me? It's always here.
Man,
it's just how we are as a school. You understand me?
Yes.
That's the school culture I grew up in.
Yes.
So I always tell people, while I've been in other school, this is a school that I think made me who I am in terms of character and integrity and just as a person. Though I had college and university, I think it is at Mannings, just the relationships there that built me into the person that I am today. So I'm always very, very grateful. As a Gunner's boss saying, publish a cash app or a Zelle for donation is a better idea than people calling. So maybe if somebody wants to buy like a ticket or buy 5 tickets for someone to attend, because I'm going to keep putting up the flyer. If you could get something with a cash app that they can put the money there and then you can just randomly give to people the tickets once they pay for them and stuff. I think that would be a good idea. I don't know how, if it's something difficult to arrange.
It's just that we can provide that information. we just put that together and make sure, because we're very keen on transparency. So want to
Yeah.
make sure that it's we provide the right information, and we can do that. If it's on your platform, we can provide a cash
Yeah,
app or
man,
Zelle.
definitely.
We can do that.
Definitely.
Of course,
Definitely.
most definitely. And once
Yeah.
it's support, we'll find a way to
Get it
make it
done.
happen. Yes.
Yeah. Listen, really appreciate you men coming on. Like I said, it's a Sunday, and I mean, when I always tell people, I don't like to engage people on Sunday. One, because it's family time, and
Yes.
I'm a pastor and I don't even have church on
Yes.
Sunday. I think
Yes.
Sunday is family time. So the fact that you'd have even taken time out of your Sunday to make this happen, I'm very, very grateful. I'm glad that I got the opportunity. I tell people, like, the joy that I had is that as a former Manning student and played for the school as well, that I was able to interview like Cecil Pringle and hear that story. Same thing. I was so grateful that I got to interview Aldean Blacker Bailey and Donald Wilson and stuff, because that is the greatest joy. I do lots of interview, but to know that this is someone who was at the same institution as I am give me a great joy. And just
Yes.
hearing this story with persons who were there in the flesh and seeing the strong emotional fortitude that you have displayed. Like I said, to even play the game weeks after, months after, would have been just a battle in and of itself, and that you prevailed by winning cannot be compared to what the under 14 has done now, or the under 16, or even if Man wins the Dakar Cup next year. Just the tragedy that took place sets it apart from everything else, I believe, in terms of victory in the school's history. So kudos to you, and I hope your story will be a shining light for others, that it don't matter how tragic things are, if you have the right attitude, you have the right support, and the right community around you, anything is still possible. Anything is still possible in the midst of adverse circumstances. The tragedy became like the motivation to not lose, and that's life. Sometimes that's what tragedy does. It teaches us how to not lose, even in the sternest battles that we face in life in general, outside of sports. And so that's good. See, Colleen Young says, "Do you have any alumni chapter in Georgia?" Oh, you guys are in Atlanta. Say, if not, thus us, um, something to. This is something I think this should be. This is something to consider to get support of your alumnus.
That's something that we're looking into, establishing an alumni association here in Georgia.
Yeah, and then enlightening talk. Thank you all. Jamaicans are resilient. All the very best
Thank
from
you, Sandra.
Sandra Chin Brown. Right. Thank you, Johnny Powell, who says up management on the panel. And saw Jason Guna earlier. Thank you as well, Jason Guna. Paul Watkins, Sentan man, says the Sentan big baller elder map. One man you. Yes, man. If you want to laugh, you have to check out Elder Map videos. He's hilarious. I'll tell you.
Out there.
Oh dear. But he's very good. He got all of
Yeah,
those
man.
balls in the D. I think he was trying
Yes.
to get them with the 18 and stuff.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Crossbar challenging penalty.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but hey, Manning's man,
Yes.
as I mentioned, Andrew Federer Bailey. We played against him in the Costa Cup, when he was playing for Veer.
Here, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we were third farmers, right? Or fourth farmers.
Yeah. We were young at the time. I was 15 years of age at the time. Yeah, in fourth. Like he was a skillful football player.
That mean you'd have played against a tough Dintil, because he had like the Dintil team as well was because he was at Marcus Garvey, I think, and some of the players from that. I think there was a competition for the secondary schools that was separate from the Costa Cup. So his Marcus Garvey Technical Marcus Garvey Technical had won the what that competition for, like from and those schools would have played, and
All right, like
Some,
secondary school competition.
yeah. So he
Okay.
actually played that, and when they won, the team, half of the team went to Dintil, half went to Veer. So he ended up with the group that went to Veer. I think Dintil actually won during that time, like 81, 82, with some of those said players. Dintil may have won with like Paul Barnaby and a couple of those other guys who were with, and then Eldam on his team. Because I don't think Eldam actually won Dakasta Cup, you know.
Yeah, man, he won. They won
He won it
1980. Yeah, man, it was Bob Campbell who was coaching them.
right, 1980.
1980,
Yes.
yeah. We played against them.
And then I think Dintil won 81, somewhere around there. But the team was split up on 1 year they won. But this is not about them. This is about Manage right now. We need to win a Dakasta Cup.
Definitely.
Yeah, but thank you guys so much. So
Thank you.
Somebody said that it was called the President Cup.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. When you're at Manage, you don't know what's going on in those schools. Yeah, that's just the way. Yeah, but each of you have a minute to just share your final word. Either to invite the people, to thank the people. You just go ahead and just take a minute to kind of share your final thoughts.
Gabby, go ahead.
Yes, folks. We're looking forward to your support. We would like to make this thing an annual event because it means a lot to the school. It means a lot to us. It means a lot to the entire Sablama and Westmoreland community. And the first one is that the three of us here, we were the ones spearheaded that one, getting it going. And to get more support, we can bring this thing further because we gave out scholarship in honor of Hopeton Kelly, the first one. And we would like also this time to give out a scholarship in Sila's name. We're going to give out a scholarship in the name of the great Cecil Sila Pringle. So the more support we get is the more scholarships we can give out to students and the more we can do for our great, fine learning institution of Manning's School. Thanks in advance.
Daja.
Yes, just piggybacking on Gabby with the support. This year is for Sila. Everyone. Cecil, Sila Pringle. This year is for him. So please turn out in your numbers. Thank you for the support.
Yes, and just my final comment is, let's take this podcast as a learning experience and share it with other people who you think may need to hear from people who are who faced adversity and faced challenges, and to see how they persevered, to see how they became successful. So use this as a learning tool to be safe always and to enjoy what you're doing and never take life for granted. So please come out and support us Saturday, March 22nd. We're going to have a grand occasion. We're going to celebrate the life and legacy, not only of Sila, Hopeton Kelly, and the other members who passed away. So thanks again, Man, for having us. It was a pleasure. And thank you to Daja and Gabby for sharing their personal experiences with the tragedy of the Hopeton Kelly story.
Yeah, man. All right. So thank you guys so much. It was a pleasure having you as usual. You have a wonderful rest of the evening. Go watch some NFL. I don't know. You're right or something. Watch the great Patrick Mahomes, do it again, Dirk, listen, you diss me Arsenal about some old rusty gun, which team you support, Dirk? Dirk, watch yourself, Dirk. Dirk, you don't respect your elders, Mr. Dirk Brown, you need shower. Oh, big up all past and present Bunny School students except Arville Higgins. Lord have mercy. We are not going to go there with you, God as boss.
Can't do that to my brethren, Patrick Gray, man.
There's a love in action, Patrick Gray.
Yes, Patrick Gray.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Right. Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
it.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. So there you go, people. Wonderful discussion as usual. you know, we ask you as we close, remember to, like Sean says, hit the like button, share the content with others, with some youngsters, somebody who needs to hear this story. All right. If you have never subscribed to I Am Sure Sports, do so now. And join us tomorrow at 1 p.m. when we will have one of the young under 17 reggae boys who will be talking to. I am Management. This has been I Am Sure Sports. And as usual, when it gets to the end of the program, we say we are over and we are out of here.